Hi, this is Stephen from Sound of an Ocean Wave, coming to do the daily reading for January the 13th. So, hope everyone's well and ready to see what the cards have for us today. And of course, I'll begin by drawing from the Tarot of Dreams deck, and then we'll get one from the Oracle of Visions and see what kind of message we get today. So I'll just give this deck a last minute shuffle. I've shuffled it previously, but I had to give a last minute shuffle, make sure that they're all sort of mixed up good, and then now we will draw the cards. So we'll cut it there and then take it from the top as usual, and this is another Cups card. Yes, we're finding what is it with all these Cups cards this week? This is the page. This is the Page of Cups. So we're still on with the emotions. I mean, you've seen me shuffle the deck, and I've shuffled it well previously, and I gave it a good shuffle sort of right in front of you, and I cut the deck just at the place I felt, and so these are obviously meant to be coming out. So let's see. Yeah, so this is the Page of Cups. This is like an early stage of I'm just looking to see if there's anything that pops out at me but basically the pages are like the learning, the beginning stages of a concept. So like this is like an emotional beginning, an emotional learning experience that that's beginning. It's a learning experience. We're learning how to deal with certain emotions that whatever's going on in your life, and you're wondering how to deal with this emotionally. The Page of Cups is more or less saying that this emotional experience is here to highlight and to teach us something, and it's a learning experience. It's a chance for growth and development. So that's what this card represents. And I'll have a quick look at the book for any extra before we move to the Oracle. But I think it's fascinating that we're getting a lot of these Cups cards coming out in the readings so far this month. And here we go. The Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is a young woman, usually a young person representing the Page of Cups, young boy, a young male, young girl. Is a young woman who is sensitive to emotional and intuitional undercurrents. I'd say undercurrents of intuition. Make it easy to say. So it's somebody's emotionally sensitive. So and you can feel these undercurrents of emotion and intuition. Although she is too inexperienced to grasp the full meaning of these messages or to put them into practical use, she can perceive that something is there. Yeah, and sometimes I can be a bit like the Page of Cups, in a sense that I know that something's there. I can perceive something, an undercurrent or something. But sometimes it takes me a while to get the full meaning of the messages or put them into practical use. Putting them into practical use is something I'm still learning, getting better at. I feel, but yeah. Thus, in the picture, she floats underwater, but still near the surface. That's right. Her head's above the water, so she's still got her head above the water. She's not fully immersed in her emotions near the surface. So she's on the surface of her emotions, but can feel the undercurrent underneath. I like that. Her hat acts as a sort of antenna that allows her to pick up the vibrations that others might miss. Likewise, the cups seen on the other cup cards here have evolved into columns, indicating, conveying psychic messages from the water's depths to the surface. Oh yes, yeah, they've got columns there, haven't they? Yes. These messages can sometimes be disturbing, but the page, while vulnerable, faces them with bravery. So whatever, it will maybe feel vulnerable because we're not sure what to make of these emotions, but we need to face them with courage. The page augurs beginnings in emotional matters. New relationship or a new phase of a relationship is often indicated. Pages are learning. The Page of Cups is suggesting that you remain open to the possibility of learning something from an emotional experience. So that's what I said, wasn't it? That if an emotional situation seems hopeless, try approaching it with the heart of a child. Be flexible and see if you can learn a new way of relating. So, yeah. Learning. See if you can learn a new way of relating. So, yeah, that's the... we'll see what oracle card we get now to go with that. And we'll choose there. And oh, now this is like a magician, isn't it? This is like yeah, this is he's like creating sort of like, this is like a magician creating his magic tricks. And I think this is all about illusion to me, because it's more like tricks and illusions more than what like a magic with a K at the end. You know, that the spiritual kind of magic. This is more of like a stage magician with his hoots, with his tricks and illusions. So I think in dealing with our emotions, be careful that we're not being deceived. Be careful that we're not that we're not succumbing to an illusion, and that we're not tricking or deceiving ourselves into thinking a certain way. Be careful how we, this is why we need to learn how to interpret what our emotion, how our emotions are leading us, and what the magician their sort of card represents here is, I say magician card, it's not like the magician in the tarot, but the illusionist here is that he's creating an appearance of something, but it's not really true. Like, there's a trick to it. So that's the whole idea of illusion, is to give us the illusion that some things happened. Something's just like a dove has suddenly appeared out of nowhere, but of course it hasn't. There's a trick to it. We might not know that, but be careful of appearances. So just a quick look at I'm just looking at the number of the card so I can find it. Misleading, illusion, confusion. Yeah, sometimes when we learn in this early stage of learning how to relate in a new way, how to deal with our emotions, can be a confusing time. What we experience and how we interact is often indicated. It's often indirect and from a distance. Physical interaction that would normally have provided all of our senses an opportunity for feedback and assessment is now increasingly being replaced by virtual alternatives from email and texting and social networking. Our relationships are becoming increasingly defined by virtual interaction that can distort and substitute reality. We can now create multiple new identities. How we go about quantifying people and events is now increasingly based on new paradigms that can provide a false perspective for both viewed and viewer alike. Do not be misled by what you see around you, or be influenced by what you see. You live in a world which is a playground of illusion, full of false paths, false values and false ideas, but you are not part of that world. So just be aware that, particularly when you're relating to other people, that you need to be more, to learn to be in touch with that that intuitive undercurrent, to learn to know what's under the surface and not just what is immediately apparent, because what's sometimes just immediately apparent is not always the full story. So I hope that's a helpful message, a timely message, and one to ponder on. And I'll be back tomorrow to do day 14. Until then, thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.